students walk across the road.
You know, in the morning though, and the drive is Saturday. All the time.
Oh, yeah.
All the high rise stuff, like more foot traffic, you know, gets from there, they all like walk. Remember when we
Oh, yeah.
now it's all bus. That's the good thing about the condos. You know, they want to get
Well, the,
the other side of the softball field is all downtown high rise lot.
so,
What we said 15, 20 years ago about buying those up and building stuff.
yeah.
If you had the money to be a developer, you knew it was coming. Spartans had a rough weekend.
Yeah, I know. Did you go at all?
No, no, he had fun.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, he was gonna be fun.
Make it yours.
And welcome everybody to University of Tampa baseball, midweek baseball, as the Spartans get ready to take on Valdosta State in a non-conference yet a regional matchup here at the University of Tampa. Hi everybody, Jack Ike along with Taylor Stolworthy, and a sun-splashed hot day here in Tampa. Valdosta comes in with a record of 20-14, and the Spartans are 25-6. Last weekend, the Spartans dropped 2 out of 3 at Florida Southern, still ranked second in the nation, though. Valdosta State is trying to rebound. They had a terrible start to the season, and part of that was to blame because they played a lot of Sunshine State Conference foes, Taylor.
Yeah, they started on the road against Rollins, then they hosted Embry-Riddle and lost to Georgia Southwestern to go 1-5 to open the season, but they've recovered since then, going 19-9 since. And unlike Tampa, who's coming off of the final game victory against Florida Southern this weekend, the Blazers have got 5 in a row with a recent sweep against Mississippi College.
And they are coming in with that 20-14 record. They are very good at home, 16-1. On the road, 9-5, not too bad. And as you said, they are trying to get better after a slow start. They're 10-2 in conference play. They were picked to be 6th in the Gulf South Conference, so I think they're exceeding expectations right now.
Yeah, they certainly are. Their conference is always super competitive, and no matter the sport, Valdosta State usually is at the top of the conference rankings.
Yeah. And it's a very good series when these two teams meet. Oftentimes, since I've been covering the team over the years, it is in NCAA regional play, and that's always made it a little bit tougher. Spartans will have Jake Fletcher on the mound. He comes in with a 2.11 ERA. This is his 3rd appearance of the year, and his 12th appearance of the year. His 3-0 record for the Spartans. 21 and a third innings pitched, 17 hits, 7 runs, 5 of them earned. He's walked 3, struck out 14, and he will be looked to shut him down for the Spartans today. The lineup for Valdosta State is they will start at shortstop number 4, and leading off is Pedro Moreno. He is a senior from Caracas, Venezuela. Batting second is number 1, DJ Banks. He is a senior from Powder Springs, Georgia. Batting third is number 22. 22 is Orlando Pena. He is a senior from Jersey City, New Jersey. In the cleanup spot is the DH. Number 25. 25 is Hunter Stowe, a senior from Birmingham, Alabama. Number 5 in the order is number 9, and that is Marcos Sevillano, a senior from Jacksonville, Florida. Batting 6 is number 44, and that is, flip the page here, number 44 is Easton Hood, and he is a junior from Tupelo, Mississippi. Batting 7th is number 15, or I should say batting 8th is number 15, and that is Farid Eljake, and he is a senior from Jacksonville, Florida. Stepping in is the leadoff hitter Moreno. Batting 9th will be the catcher, number 2, Will Beckham, and he is a senior from Bainbridge, Georgia. First pitch from Fletcher, fouled off, out of play, heading toward the Valdosta State bullpen, falls harmlessly to the turf.
I believe warming up for the bullpen is going to be their starter, Trey Jackson.
Yes.
The senior, just like Fletcher's had a lot of success in the bullpen this year for Valdosta State. Both these guys getting a chance on the mound as starters for this midweek matchup.
Temperature at game time, 87 degrees. We hit 89 earlier today. My car begs to differ, said 92. 5 o'clock game. Normally they play 6 o'clock games. This might be to help Valdosta State with some travel. It's about a 3.5-hour bus ride. Though I talked to their coach, and he said, this is actually close compared to a lot of our trips in our conference. And their SID said, why can't we join the SSC?
Maybe one day.
Swing and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes now. Fletcher looks in. Long look. Pitches out of a stretch. Fouled back. Taylor, you didn't flinch. You gotten over it this year?
That was a little bit to the left, I could tell, but
all right.
I'll still flinch when it's more headed my way.
Taylor did some minor league baseball up in New York a season ago, and he had balls flying into the booth, right?
Yeah, it was with the Summer League, the Elmira Pioneers. A few Sunshine State Conference players actually were in that league.
There's a pop-up. Shading his eyes and getting ready to make the catch is Saladino. One up, one down. Yeah, and you flinched for like the first couple balls that came back this way.
Certainly did, because I had to get out of the way of one that came my way in Jamestown, New York. The booth was pretty high up, but the foul ball still managed to get there, and I was able to keep it as a souvenir.
We have a screen in front of us. It would be something else if a ball came into the booth here.
And a full window.
And a window, yes. Ball fouled out of play. This is Banks at the plate. Defensively, the Spartans have Fletcher on the mound. Garavito is at catcher. Russo, first base. Saladino, second base. Carstetter at third. Urso at shortstop. Williams, King, Valdez, left, center, and right. And there's the first base hit of the game up the middle. Fielded by Maddox King and thrown back in.
Yeah, the only real defensive changes we see for the Spartans is Urso back at short. He's mixed shortstop and DH play over the course of the year. And Mike Valdez getting the start today. He's only had a handful of those all year. Tampa's had an absolutely stacked outfield this season. Villegas, Williams entering the Spartans roster, and of course keeping players like Maddox King and Jay Griffith and Mike Anthony Valdez around. I mean, Tampa could place any three in the outfield and expect a good day out of all of them.
Yeah, definitely so. Third hitter in the order is Pena, fouls one back.
Pena's had a great season for Valdosta State. He's getting on base in every single matchup he's played this year.
34 games, 34 ways to reach base. Spartans playing a little bit in at short and second. Typically you'll see them back on the grass, but they've scooched in a little bit. Valdosta State comes in with a .299 batting average. They give up .266 to their opponents. They do have power, 36 home runs, though they have given up 43. There's a fly ball, falls in front of Valdez, and scooting over to second base is Banks. Runners at first and second on a couple base hits.
Disappointing for that to drop, but smart play by Valdez not to get aggressive and try to dive for the ball. He knew he was probably not going to get it, so he just waited for the hop and made sure that he didn't make an error, which would have allowed runners to get to the corners, or even worse, a run to score or second and third.
Definitely. This will bring Stowe to the plate. Stowe brings in a .289 batting average, played and started in 32 games.
Stowe doesn't have the greatest on-base numbers, but he makes up for it with home run pop. 7 is the second best home run tally for Valdosta State.
A little bit low outside, 2-0. Valdosta State is coached by Jan Weisberg. His first season as head coach came from Birmingham Southern. And maybe that name sounds familiar. Birmingham Southern was a Division III school last year that they closed their doors. The school shut down. And the team had qualified for the D3 tournament and made it into the final bracket. And they kept playing and playing even though the doors had been shut at the school. They knew that once the season ended, they didn't have a school to go back to.
It was great that they were able to have a good tournament run at the end. You know, just playing not for the school, but just for the family as a team.
Yeah. Fletcher looked back at second. 2-1 pitch on the way. Outside, 3-1. Because of the 5 o'clock start, it's going to take the Shadows a little bit longer to start messing around with things. Here's the pitch. Foul back.
If it was about a month or two ago, though, the Shadows would probably be already messing around. And not just because of daylight savings times moving things up, but just because the sunset is starting to lengthen the size of the day now because we're out of the winter months, we're into the spring months. I think we've already passed the equinox,
We did.
so we're now already
March 22nd.
getting close to the summer, long days that go till 8 p.m. And I don't think 9 p.m. I don't think it's
Nope,
that
not
late.
yet. That's a fly ball heading out to right center. That's pretty deep near the wall. Maddox King goes up, keeps it in the ballpark. Runners are going to move up. Now the runner on second is caught between second and third. Urso's got the ball. We'll tag him out. The runner at first stays, and the runner at third stays. That was a base running error there by Pena, who was just kind of following Banks around the bases and then realized Banks wasn't going to try to score.
What a play, though, in center field by Maddox King. He didn't make the catch, but the outcome is basically the same as if he did make the catch, because his relay back in caught Pena off guard. He didn't realize that Banks was waiting to see if it would drop, so he didn't have time to get home and caught him the rundown. He just got tagged out by Urso for out number 2.
Yeah, had he caught it, there'd still be a runner at first, and more than likely the runner would have gone to third. So we're in the same situation, just 2 outs and a little different base runner at first. This is Sevillano at the plate now.
It's a good thing Fletcher didn't walk Stowe, because Sevillano with the bases loaded would have been scary.
Yeah.
Hitting .359, he's got a .479 on base percentage, best for the team. He also has 23 walks on the year.
Looks at that one, call strike. That was an emphatic strike call.
Yeah, shout out Jordan Flores.
Tom, anybody using the barrel bats in this series? Isn't that what they're calling them? Barrel bats?
Torpedo bats.
Torpedo bats.
Yeah, my Yankees using them. I think they got to make some metal ones for the Spartans. That would be fun to see.
Yeah.
Well pitch.
Those torpedo bats having a more favorable hitting zone on them.
Fastball.
If you look at a normal bat, the widest part of the bat and the thickest part of the bat is at the very end where you rarely hit the ball. So an MIT professor said move some of that down near the trademark,
And boom.
thicken that up, and now you've got a bigger sweet spot. There's a little fly ball. They're going to have to come in. Williams coming in, Urso going out, and Urso makes a nice catch to retire the side. So after all of that, 3 hits, a couple runners get on, runner caught trying to go to third. They don't score. We've played a half an inning. No score. Tampa coming to bat on.
This is the University of Tampa. Explore your dreams. Discover your talents. Get ready to invent, innovate, and be a leader. This is the University of Tampa.
Like a 15th-year senior, can't you? All right, we head to the bottom of the first inning. No score. Tampa coming to bat. The Spartans will send up Williams, Saladino, and Urso. Leading off is going to be Jordan Williams, number 19. And he is a grad student from Odessa, Florida, played at Florida State. 48 stolen bases this year. The Spartans have played 31 games. He has 48 stolen bases. Batting second is number 10, Nico Saladino, and he is a senior from Valrico, Florida. Batting third, J.D. Urso, number 11. J.D. is a grad student from Tampa, went to Plant High School, played last year at the University of Miami. Batting cleanup, number 42, is Mike Valdez, a senior from Miami, Florida. Batting fifth in the lineup is Braden Woodburn, number 2, and he is a junior from Winter Springs, Florida. On the mound for Valdosta is Jackson. See if we can get some numbers on him.
Yeah, Jackson's making his 3rd start of the season, his 12th appearance. Enters a 1-0 record, 3rd best ERA on the team. Struck out 21 over 21 and 2/3, and a 291 earned run average at this stage of the season.
Williams at the plate, Jackson on the mound. The 1-0 pitch. Looks to bunt, pulls it back, it's a ball. Batting in the 5th spot, or the 6th spot for the Spartans is number 14, and that is Santiago Garavito. He's a senior from Plantation, Florida. Batting 7th is number 33, and that is Russo. Cole Russo, a senior from Tampa, Florida. There's a strike call. We're at 2-1 now. Batting 8th is number 5, Kevin Karstetter, a senior from State College, Pennsylvania. And batting 9th is number 41, and that is Maddox King, a sophomore from Tampa. We were talking to the SID from Valdosta, and he said, look at 48 stolen bases. He said he's an automatic double if he gets on. He won't get on this time. Ground ball to second. They throw him out, 1 up, 1 down.
Yeah, I think throughout this week and weekend, Jordan Williams is on record watch for the 5 home games we'll have here at the University. 4 home games we'll have here at the University of Tampa, counting today, because he has 5 stolen bases from setting a new Spartan single-season stolen base record.
Okay. For some reason I was thinking it was like 70.
Only 52.
Wow. Oh, that'll be shattered today.
Maybe. I'll have to get
He's
on
had
base.
5 stolen base games.
Yeah. But I'll need to replicate that, and it's a little bit easier when you get a stolen base in the first inning.
Yeah, it helps. Spartans actually, counting this game, have 7 consecutive home games. Conference this weekend and conference next weekend at home. Ball fouled off.
I think this is a great time of the season for Tampa to have some home games.
Yep.
Coming off of that tough road series against Florida Southern, but throughout the year, Tampa's done really good at home. We're 16-1 there, 9-5 on the road against teams. Notably, we've had some tough series. We had a loss against Cal State San Marcos in a fun 4-game stretch. And then, of course, it was a couple weeks ago that Albany State won the Tuesday one-off matchup.
The only thing that looks odd is 3 of the last 4 conference weekends are on the road, including the last 2.
Yeah, the St. Leo one's going to be an exciting one.
Yeah.
St. Leo's a little bit weaker this year. They're not the number 2 team in the Sunshine State Conference like they've been the last few years, but always a dangerous foe, and it's always fun to see the Lions and Spartans facing off. It's not a rivalry, but it's sort of that same town matchup, and that always brings the players a little extra motivation to do well.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Saladino stands in and waits. 1 hopper. Nice stop by Beckham, setting the defense for you for Valdosta. They have Jackson on the mound. Beckham is behind the plate. Steinmetz is at first. Banks second. Pena third. Moreno is at short. And then it's Civiano, Eljak, and Hood in the outfield left, center, right. Three balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch. Ground ball up the middle. Moreno's going to get it, and a toss across. 2 up, 2 down. Spartans coached by the legendary Joe Urso. Look at all those national champion banners out on the outfield wall.
And you know, there was an announcement today from Tampa Athletics that there's going to be the new Joe Urso Field for the new Tampa Spartans and the Tampa Bay Rays.
They're going to go in conjunction with the Tampa Bay Rays to build a huge stadium in Tampa.
It certainly is. They call it the A1 project, named after the date that it started out with.
Off the right field and a catch. I looked at that and I'm like, well, that's kind of, Oh, no. That can't be.
It was an April Fool's,
It is
unfortunately.
April Fool's.
My
After the-
mom thought it was a real thing at first, and I said,
Well, I think-
look at the outfield billboards. She was like, oh,
I think you got some likes on that, though, didn't you?
a ton of likes. I think
Yeah.
2,000 on Instagram.
Wow. After the break, I'm going to tell you how we came up with April Fool's Day.
Oh, sorry, 28 in a row.
Thank you. You shortchanged him.
Well, we're back, yeah.
We head to the top of the second inning. No score after one inning of play. We got to shout out to the number one ranked women's softball team just showing up, getting a nice ovation from the crowd here. Pretty decent crowd here today, too, for a Tuesday afternoon. 28 wins in a row.
Yeah, 28 wins in a row. Started this long record-setting win streak with a defeat at home against West Alabama. And their first game of that win streak was the most impressive one.
Short ground ball. Carstetter Fields throws him out, so one up, one down. I was going to tell you about April Fool's Day.
Oh, yep.
How we came up with this. And the most believed story is this one. There are a bunch of stories out there on how it came about. In the 1600s, we're going that far back, France, the country, decided they were going to go from the Julian calendar, which is what Julius Caesar came up with, to the Gregorian calendar, which is what Pope Gregory wanted. The Julian calendar said April 1st, or thereabouts, was Happy New Year. That's the start of the New Year. The Gregorian calendar said, no, January 1st will be the start of the New Year. So not a lot of social media in the 1600s, so not everybody got the word that it had been moved to January 1st was New Year's. So a lot of people, or a fair amount of people on April 1st, would celebrate the New Year. And they were frowned upon and laughed at by people who knew it was January 1st, and they used to call them, well, let me see what happens here. That's going to go all the way to the wall. It's going to chase them there.
I assume they were called fools?
Well, they were. It translates into like stinky fish.
Ooh.
Is the French translation, but it was fou. And so people would send dead fish to people's houses if they were celebrating it and calling you an April Fool. That's one of the stories. Nobody knows for sure how it started, but they're all from 500 or more years ago.
It's a good thing that tradition's died down, although I think fish markets wouldn't mind having rotten fish sales skyrocket throughout that week.
Yes. I told that at our big meeting we had today. I got an ovation for it.
I assume a lot of Tampa students would send plenty of fishes for Tom Colby's office.
Yeah. Tom is not a fool, let alone an April Fool.
Of course.
Ground ball. Fletcher fields it. Throws him out. Got the second out. Held the runner at second base. That's Steinmetz, who doubled off the wall in right center.
It's smart for Steinmetz not to try to go to third there, but I actually don't think Jacob Fletcher was really
Fletcher didn't
playing
really look at him.
Yeah, he didn't really notice him, but you could have had Russo then throw a quick throw across the diamond to get him out if he was trying to get to third. So
Well, they've already made one out trying to get to third, so maybe they didn't want another one.
yeah. Although the last time they did, there was someone on third when they were trying to get to
That was
third.
a minor detail. Minor detail. Beckham at the plate now, the number 9 hitter. Fletcher does look back and fires. Check swing, tapped foul.
Yeah, I hate when that happens as a batter. You check swing, you know that it's a bad pitch. You don't go around, but it just hits your bat for strike.
It's a strike, yep. Fletcher again with the look back. And fires. Looks good down the middle. Yes, they agree. Strike 2.
Beckham's the team leader in strikeouts, so you don't want him to fall behind with 2 strikes here. That's exactly what you want, though, if you're Fletcher.
Comes in with a 250 batting average.
230 looks like.
230.
But he does have 400 exactly on base percentage.
So he finds ways to get on. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 out, man on second. Fletcher fires. Tap toward Valdez, fields it on the line, steps on the base, inning is over. And after an inning and a half, it's still no score. Tampa and Valdosta State right here on Tampa. Too, and you just get really mad because we were good. We go to the bottom of the second. No score. Tampa, Valdosta State. The Spartans will send up Valdez, Woodburn, Garavito against Trey Jackson. Valdez, 226 on the year.
It's good to see Valdez back in the lineup. Has been coming off the bench for a majority of the season for the Spartans. He was one of our top hitters last year, but that really shows you how deep this roster is. You know, you've got so many really good players this year. I mean, we've had so many elite players come into the outfield this season that we can afford for a player like Valdez. We know how good he is to not have to play that often, but he gets a chance to shine today. And in his limited appearances, he does have 13 RBIs.
So he's productive. Valdez, the righty, steps in. Made a nice play to end the inning at first. First pitch. Since I am the king of insignificant trivia, Valdez made a great play to end the inning.
I believe it was Russo made the great play to end the inning.
Never mind.
So unfortunately,
that took away my trivia point.
Maybe if you get to the bottom of the third and it's 3 up, 3 down, Russo can then get to the new trivia.
Oh no, my trivia point there was how often. What are the odds that a player makes a great play and leads off at bat the next inning?
1 in 9.
Most people think about that way too long. Mm-hmm. They're like 1 in 100.
Yeah, because it's not about the probability of making a play.
Yes,
it's just a probability of where the batting order
play was made. So I still got my story in. Valdez was backing him up. They play him straight away. Here's the pitch. Looks at one down the middle. 3 balls, 1 strike, taking all the way.
You notice Moreno pretty far to the left, so if he just kind of boops it down the middle, he'll be able to easily get on board with the base hit. And even if it's in the infield, he can probably run it out.
Ball high, gets the walk. You know what I haven't noticed lately is in early part of the season, the Spartans would shift people over with 2 outs if it was a lefty. I haven't seen that much.
I think
last 3 or 4 series.
I think Coach Urso's more selective with that because I know the last time I was covering our baseball team here, there was one batter where Tampa would put Carstetter at the second base position, and then as like Saladino is like sort of this flexible third baseman, kind of switching back and forth. So he does do aggressive shifts, but a little bit less often this year, I think.
College baseball does not have the rule like Major League Baseball where you have to have 2 on each side of the bag of second base.
Pretty sure MLB teams have a workaround where they bring the left fielder into that position to try to work around that for someone who pulls it the other way.
Playing rover.
Although that strategy backfires when that's pushed down the opposite line for an inside the Parker.
1 ball, no strikes. Ball to Woodburn. 2-0. Slow curve, stays high. 3-0 or 2-1. A little bit of a leadoff by Valdez, not too big. That one's hit foul down the right field line toward the Valdosta State bullpen. Garavito on deck for Tampa. Now the 2-2 pitch. Long look. And there goes Valdez, fouled back. He'll come back.
And one thing about this year's Tampa team, they are not shy about running on the base path. They've had 92 steals this season with 21 times getting caught.
So Williams has half of them.
Yeah. But that's also not to say that other Tampa runners aren't good. Ursa's got 6, Villegas 10, Carstetter 10. Valdez even has one of his own. And might be going for number 2 again right here.
2-2 pitch. Fouled off again. Keeping an eye on the pitch clock, hasn't started. When does it technically start? When the pitcher gets the ball back?
I think so. And like once he sort of gets onto the mound, I think.
Okay. Throw over.
I think we can kind of wait and see like when it gets reset here. Oh, they just reset. I think there's a button. They hit reset and then it just starts again. It's probably when he gets it back.
Fouled off again, though. That one may stay foul. They're giving chase, and it's up on the screen. Out of play. Two-two pitch coming up again. Valdez, kind of a short lead, waits. Inside, full count.
Great job there by Woodburn getting 3 or 4 fouls off in a row. Forces Jackson to give him a tougher pitch to hit and just lays off to now get ahead in the count. Or even, technically.
Now he exceeded the pitch clock there, and they called it. So that'll be ball 4. Jackson has been letting it get down under 5 a number of times. And that time it ran out. It expired on a 3-2 pitch.
I think it's one of a couple times this season we've seen the pitch clock really come into play for a call for a ball in general.
Mm-hmm.
And here, it's actually led to a walk.
Yeah.
So, it doesn't always happen, but if you get too focused, you lose track of time, that can happen.
Garavito now at the plate. Runners at first and second. Nobody out. Curveball. Inside. Strike. Russo on deck.
Garavito and Irigoyen have been back and forth as the starting catcher, both doing well. 329 for Irigoyen, 310 average for Garavito. Both were surprisingly quiet in terms of power this year. Notably Garavito, he's been a big home run hitter for the Spartans for a while. It was their most recent home stretch that Garavito finally got his first of 2025. That was in the series against Embry-Riddle.
Spartans as a team are hitting 299. That average was down in the 270s earlier in the season. So to get it up to almost 300 means they've been really pounding the ball. And they only give up a 233 batting average. Swing and a miss. Took a little bit off it. And Garavito goes down swinging, brings up Russo. He's 265 on the year. Does have 3 home runs.
It's surprising to see Russo with only 16 RBIs because it feels like whenever he enters a high-leverage spot like this, he's been able to convert. He's a player who really comes alive in those high-intensity moments. So notably, his debut, his first at-bat coming off the bench for the Spartans on opening day, hit a double into the gap to set up the winning run for Karstetter bring home. By the way, Karstetter's on deck.
He's going to have 17 after this at-bat.
Or 18, hopefully.
Or 18.
Perchance 19.
True.
Can't get 20 yet, though.
I think the catcher got something in his eye. They stopped and walked away.
I don't think D2 has the stoppage rule that MLB does, though, where you only have 1 per at-bat.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could take an extra 1 or 2 if you need to. And the pickoff rule doesn't exist either. You can do multiple.
Till the fans get bored.
Mm-hmm. Once you do too often, they'll start to boo.
First pitch. Down low, outside, ball 1. Two on, 1 out, no score. Bottom of the second inning, Tampa and Valdosta State. Strike. Again, straight away. I don't know how much scouting either team does for these non-conference games. I just noticed there's a lot of players just straight away.
Yeah, I mean, you imagine there is some, but a little bit less, I think, for a non-conference opponent. However, Valdosta State is a frequent Spartan opponent, and they're a frequent team to make regionals.
Yes.
They're kind of on the borderline this season thanks to their slow start, but they're always a team to be respected, so I imagine that Tampa makes sure they do their research for them.
And the pitch. Fouled it off. Well, I guess he didn't. He just bounced out of the catcher's mitt. He scurried over. Nobody advances. 2-2. Moreno, the shortstop, playing almost behind second base. They're trying to hold the runner on. Ball outside, another full count. He's gone full on a number of batters. Jackson's into the 30s on his pitch count, and we're only in the second.
Yeah, great job by Woodburn, Russo, and Garavito. Well, actually, not Garavito, unfortunately, but Russo and Woodburn have both really forced long at-bats to drive up that pitch count and potentially maybe force Valdosta to the bullpen earlier.
A little bit low. He's walked him full. Valdez walked, Woodburn walked, Russo walked. I didn't even mention what can happen when you walk the leadoff hitter. They tend to score a lot.
Yeah. A little bit less often than the myth the coaches say, but
Wives' tale, yes. A little visit to the mound by the pitching coach.
yeah, Jackson still is on the no-hitter alert here in 1 1/3, but command similar to Roki Sasaki at this stage, just a couple of walks. I only mention that because I cover NPB action with For the Fans Sports.
You need to tell people what NPB is.
Nippon Professional Baseball out of Japan.
Okay.
Cover the Pacific League, where you've probably heard of players Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Roki Sasaki. Those are the players who played in that league 2 years ago. During Yamamoto's final season in Japan, I called his no-hitter he had against the Lotte Marines. And we were still doing tape-delayed game footage for those recording sessions for the games. Now we do it live, but I was able to avoid spoilers for it, so I'm really happy about that. There are a couple times I spoiled myself on the results of games throughout the year. It's always disappointing when that happens.
Swing and a miss. So just so people know, you're doing Japanese baseball games while you're in your house or condo or apartment.
Yep, just
in English for Americans to watch.
Exactly, and for people all around the world as well. I think it's primarily Americans, but other people can tune in. I've got some friends I know from across the pond who sometimes like to tune in.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, a friend of mine who's over in the United Kingdom who, he's awake at the time the games are being played, like 5 a.m. The only downside is the wake-up call.
So you're doing games at like 2 in the morning.
2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. sometimes.
Wow.
Just depends on the day of the week.
They don't accommodate your schedule, huh? There's a base hit. That'll bring in at least one. Spartans are going to take a 1-0 lead. Scoring from third base is Valdez, and that's it. The bases stay loaded with 1 out, and Maddox King strides to the plate.
You could tell that blooper had a 100% chance of getting by.
Yeah.
Because it got over the head of DJ Banks, who at 6'3", it's a pretty tall second baseman. You don't normally see middle infielders that are that tall usually. It's normally the corners or the outfield where you'll see the 6'4", 6'5" foot players, but second base, Banks is usually able to get to balls that are hit kind of high because a little extra height.
Maddox King to the plate for Tampa. Down the middle, call strike. King, 250 batting average on the year. 56 at-bats, 14 hits. Bases loaded now. Woodburn, Russo, Carstetter. And that one, does it fall? That'll bring in another run. That's going to bring in 2 because Russo said, I'm going to head to third base anyway. And the Spartans lead 3-0.
Probably would have been an inning-ending double play if it was caught, because Russo probably would not have had time to make it back to second, but it drops, and he almost beats Woodburn on the way home. He pretty much caught up to him.
He chased him. 3-0 Tampa. Runners now first and second with 1 out. And we're at the top of the order, Jordan Williams.
Only downside for the stolen base chase for Williams is that he's got 2 aboard. So if he singles and, say, scores Carstetter, they need to do a double steal to get him forward. Good news is King's one of the faster Spartan players, so Urso just might.
First pitch, just missing outside.
And Jack, we talk about Williams' stolen bases a lot, but I feel what kind of goes under the radar is just how good he's been at the plate. 364 average, 448 on-base percentage, 559 slugging, leads the team in average, has the most hits, has the second most doubles, and also 3 home runs alongside that.
Shows some pop. Yeah, if you got 48 stolen bases, you're getting on base fairly often. He's had, I think, 2 5 stolen base games.
Pretty sure those are new Spartan records as well. Pretty sure the previous record was 4 in one game.
In the one game we did, he twice stole second and third, and then stole second and another at-bat. Love to see him steal home.
Oh, yeah. It's got to happen sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how we'll get 53.
Yeah. 2-1 with 1 out. Ball a little bit low.
And yeah, he actually tied it against Quincy, 5 in a game. Lance Chambers and Nick DeTringo also at 5.
And the pitch. That one is hit out into right field. Chasing deep toward the wall is Hood. Gone! 3-run shot. That one just got over the yellow bar. And no stolen bases. He can take his time going around the bases. 4th home run of the year for Williams, and the Spartans now lead 6-0. A 6-run bottom of the second.
Who needs an automatic double when you can get an automatic 3-run shot?
Yeah. And that will be the end of the day for Trey Jackson. That, you know what? Is that the first hit? No, Spartans have 3 hits now.
Would have been impressive if Tampa managed to get 6 runs before a hit.
Yeah. Well, they walked the bases full, which didn't help. So we'll have a pitching change coming up. We'll get you the numbers, and we'll take a quick break and come back while he warms up. Right after this, really? No variety?
You're back. I'm going to mute it for you.
Spartans up 6-0. A pitching change for Valdosta State. Taylor, you've got the name and number.
Yeah, it's going to be Preston Wetherell out of the bullpen. He's had 11 appearances this year and boasts a 3.37 ERA. He's had a pretty solid season. Wetherell is a junior out of Port Orange, Florida. Notably, though, 5 strikeouts to 8 walks.
Something to watch there as Jackson walks got him in trouble.
You all right, Mike?
Fouled off by Saladino. Now the bases are empty with 1 out. 6-0 Tampa.
It's always good when you can enter the game with a clean slate like this.
Yeah, as a relief pitcher, yeah.
Because sometimes you'll enter with like 2 aboard or 1 aboard.
Yep.
Or even worse, bases loaded.
Exactly. That ball went bounding down the line and then headed out into the outfield. Umpire back behind the plate. Saladino sets. Wetherell pitches outside. Swing and a miss. That one went low, and he couldn't go down and get it. Second out of the inning. Umpires for today's game at home plate, as Taylor alluded to, is Jordan Flores, and on the first base is Josie Torres.
I mentioned Flores had that fun strike call back in the first inning.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of did a little turn to the left and then point to the right.
Yeah. Choreographed. J.D. Urso now at the plate. Tops on the Spartans with 5 home runs this year. One hopper goes all the way to the backstop. Urso flew out his first time up. And he's going to pop one up this time, but sending him back near the wall, center field at the wall, and he will round the bases with a home run, his 6th of the year, straight away center field, and J.D. Urso got all of that one. 7-0 Tampa.
He didn't pop out that time.
Jake just kept going back and back and back until he ran out of room.
Yeah, if it was a slightly larger wall, he might have got there for an impressive running catch, but just ran out of road.
Valdez now at the plate. A 7-run second inning. Swing and a miss there. 1 ball, 1 strike. That one backs Valdez off the plate.
Valdez started the walk parade for the Spartans, leading off the inning with a walk. Now gets a second chance here in the second.
Ground ball heading out to short. Moreno quickly over. Inning is over. Spartans pick up 7 runs, 4 hits, a whole bunch of walks. They walk the bases loaded, and we played 2 full. 7-0 Tampa on top of Valdosta. Moreno will lead off. The leadoff hitter will lead off the top of the 3rd inning. Taylor, you were at a little thing you wanted to mention about the women's softball team, number 1 ranked in the nation?
Yeah, it was sort of looking back at the start of their win streak. They were able to pull off a pretty miraculous comeback, which is something the Blazers would need today, because they were trailing on that Friday doubleheader 5-0 in the bottom of the 7th.
Which is the last inning.
They were about to lose to get swept by West Alabama, but they then scored 6 to walk it off.
Wow.
And since then, they've won every game.
That is impressive. It's pretty impressive when you can one-up the baseball team.
That's exactly what they've done this year. 15-0, best conference start, best winning streak ever.
Remember last year, the baseball team with a 15-0 start.
That was a special team.
Yeah.
Not a surprise that we ended that year with the 8th circle out in left center field for
Yep.
a national championship. Actually, is it 9th? 9th.
Off speed, good pitch by Fletcher there. Strike one. Man on first. Banks at the plate. Strike call. Banks got a base hit, got to third back in the first inning. Stranded there.
Fletcher was a D2 transfer for us this offseason, coming here from USC Aiken with University of South Carolina Aiken. He actually struck us out 6 times in his matchup he had with us last year.
So he was well aware of where he was going.
Certainly was.
And the Spartans were probably well aware of what he could do.
That definitely helped when maybe he expressed interest to come to the champions. Like, oh yeah, you struck us out 6 times. I reckon you could probably help our bullpen or rotation, or both.
Ground ball. Fletcher fields it, goes to second to Urso, and the relay. And that is a 1-6-3 double play. Twice now Fletcher has fielded his position and done it well. And now we bring up Pena to the plate.
Pena continued his on-base streak with a single earlier today.
Gotten on every game this year in some fashion. We'll have to figure out, maybe talk to their SID and find out how many different ways he is used to get on base. You know, see if he's pulled up the old catcher's interference or anything at this point.
Yeah, how many errors? Because thinking about it, there's got to be, depending on what you count as a way, there's at least like 12 ways you can get on base. Mm-hmm. An error at a specific position.
Yep.
A hit.
Popped up. This one's heading out to center field. King backs it up and makes the catch.
That's not one of the ways you get on base. But always interesting to see the ways you can. Hit by pitch, error, catcher's interference, base running interference.
Balk.
Error. I already said error, I think, like 3 times now.
Yep. Well, we'll check. We'll see if we can track him down and ask him. We'll take a break. Spartans lead 7-0. We go to the bottom of the third right after this on Braden Woodburn coming to the plate for the Spartans as we go to the bottom of the third, and another pitching change for Valdosta State. They bring in number 38, and that is Jaden Paradoa.
Yeah, Peridot, the junior out of Port St. Lucie, is making his 4th appearance of the year. The left-hander will eventually face off against Cole Russo later in the lineup for that lefty-on-lefty matchup. He's struck out 2, he's walked 1, he's given up 2 runs and 3 hits over 3 innings. But I think both those runs might have come off a home run. So apart from that, pretty quick start to the season.
Okay.
And again, with only 3 innings pitched, can't really grade a performance too seriously. You have to wait till they're 20-plus, I think, on the season to really gauge how effective they've been.
So Woodburn steps in. He walked, I should say, his first time up. And the first pitch, ball 1. So the books have been closed on Jackson and Wetherell. 2 pitchers for Valdosta State. Fastball, swing and a miss. One, check swing. Ball 2.
Yeah, Beckham was asking for the opinion of Torres, but I think it was pretty evident that it was a ball because Torres was like, "Oh, you're asking me for the call?"
Ground ball. Oh, that one bounces up and away from the third baseman, Pena. Probably an error.
If it was a little closer to Moreno, that could have been a really cool infield assist.
Yeah.
Where he then picks it up and throws it over, but it landed pretty much right next to Pena, so that was impossible.
Does go down as an error. So a leadoff error. And now to the plate is Garavito. Struck out his first time up. Short lead for Woodburn. Off speed. Garavito can't catch up to it, or slow down to it, I guess. Radoa goes to first. No problem for Woodburn to get back.
Yeah, it's a good idea to be wary of Woodburn on the base path. He's had 10 stolen base attempts this year. Gotten on board 7 times, failed 3 times.
Fielding his position, Paradoa gets 1. The relay, double play. So teams reciprocate with the double play. Got the Spartans out of an inning. Gets the first 2 outs of this inning.
And this is the matchup you want Peridot on the mound for. Even better now that its space is empty. Cole Russo, you get the lefty-on-lefty advantage.
So Russo to the plate. He also walked. As we said, there were 3 straight walks. That one sails over Russo's head.
You could say that was just a bit inside.
Yep. You know, I mentioned I did a Bob Uecker reference last week, and there were had a woman on the track team doing play-by-play or color with me, 2 guys from the basketball team, and I said, "You guys know Bob Uecker?" And they're like, "No." I was so deflated. That one is hit high, deep, chasing it into. Whoa, sliding catch in fair territory ends the inning. Nice job by Hood. He almost went past that ball before he caught it.
I hope he was on camera long enough for the catch, because I know the camera we've got situated here behind home plate that you're currently seeing doesn't see the corners exactly. I think he slid off camera and came up with the ball.
Yeah, he slid past where the ball was coming down and had to reach back. Anyway, he made the 3rd out, so he played 3 full. Still 7-0 Tampa on top right here on Okay. On to the fourth inning with Tampa holding on to a 7-0 lead. Jack Ike along with Taylor Stolworthy. And to get you through 4, 5, 6 and hope he doesn't blow the save will be Taylor Stolworthy.
Yeah, I'll be making a bullpen appearance here, trying to shut the door.
We'll yank you if you give up this lead.
Of course. Meanwhile, so does Eli Thurmond. He enters the game from the bullpen to relieve Jacob Fletcher. Fletcher had 3 shutout innings, surrendered 5 hits, couldn't strike anyone out, but he got out of every single tough situation he was put in, and Tampa hold on to the advantage. Thurman's 1-1 with 12 appearances. He's been a go-to guy for the Spartans bullpen. A little unlucky with runners in scoring position this year. The long ball has also not been his friend, giving up 3, but does have 25 Ks over 20 innings, so very efficient strikeout guy. King is there on this fly ball, and that'll be 1 away. Stowe can't start the inning with a base hit.
King moved about 2 steps. You could tell whenever they hit it like right at you, it's so hard to figure out what to do because your inclination is move somewhere. And so he tried to, but ended up about 1 foot away from where he started. Still made the catch.
Yeah, sometimes you shuffle, sometimes kind of second guess something. Good job by King just to say, oh, yep, head right towards me. I'm all good. Ball 1 taken outside. Now at the plate for Valdosta State is Sevillano. And Sevillano is the team leader in batting average, .359 on the year. Hasn't played every single game, only 92 at-bats entering today. He does have enough to be a qualified batter.
You look at some of the Spartans already in the 118 for Jordan Williams, 106 J.D. Urso. Those are the only 2 in the hundreds.
Yeah, conversely, Valdosta State, who've played a couple more games than the Spartans, have 4 with over 100. Banks, Pena, Moreno, and Stowe. That'll bring the count to 2-2 now.
Well, Karstetter and Woodburn would now be at 100 because they were at 98.
And Valdosta State won't have anyone yet unless this game goes like 15 innings. Fly ball to left field, not super deep. Urso ranging, but it's going to land with Williams. 2 away, 2 quick outs. And the heart of the order has been quiet so far. We'll see if Hood can turn that around. Hood has been a pretty good power bat for Valdosta State this year. Leads with 13 doubles and has the second best slugging percentage just behind Orlando Pena. He and Pena are the only qualified batters in this Valdosta lineup to not have a stolen base attempt, though. So 0-1 to Hood. 1-1. Breaking ball missing a bit outside. Definitely tells you how strong the Tampa bullpen is when Thurman has the second worst ERA at 3.98. Ethan Brown has a slightly higher ERA, but he's also been pretty good in the situations Tampa's needed him to be good in. Best ERA belongs to Ryan Stefuk, who recently had his perfect ERA get a little messed up. He's now 142 over 19 innings.
Okay.
Swing and a miss, 1-2 now. Stefuk has been stellar for the Spartans over his tenure here. Still holding opponents to a 131 average. That'll get down to improve the average against Thurmond. A 2-out single for Hood. Steinmetz will now inherit a base runner. He has the lone extra base hit for Valdosta State, a double which he placed into the gap.
They've had base runners. They just haven't been able to bring them in.
Yeah, Valdosta State pretty surprisingly good in terms of getting on board. 400 average today, 6 for 15. But with runners on, they're only 2 for 6. That number is not going to go up. Karstetter's got time, and his throw's on target. So there's 1 hit for Hood. That's all the Blazers can muster. Tampa holds on to a 7-0 lead. Due up for the Spartans, Karstetter, King, and Williams. Bottom of the fourth. Welcome back to Tampa Spartans TV. I'm Taylor Storley alongside Jack Ike, and we've got Tom Colby running the show. 7 runs on 4 hits for the Spartans today, including 2 home runs from Williams and Urso. Williams is due up this inning, but first it's Karstetter and King. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Paradoa stays on the mound for Valdosta State. There will be 3 right-handed opponents against him here. Williams is a switch hitter, so he'll move to the right-handed spot in the batter's box. Down the line and foul. Very weakly down the line, I should mention. It's an easy pickup for Coach Jimenez on the first baseline. 2 strikes to Karstetter. Karstetter started the Spartans scoring with the bases loaded, getting Tampa's first hit of the day. Paradoa wants to run through his signs again. Pretty sure might be using pitch clock or the pitch comm, which is the new way that the catcher and pitchers usually communicate the highest level. I'm pretty sure they have that here at D2 as well. Count goes 1-2 now. Paradoa missing outside. Hit up the middle, and Paradoa makes a good grab. His toss is in time, 1 away. The good news for Paradoa is that it was hit right at him. It's also a bit scary, though, because, you know, when a baseball is coming at you at a high speed, you got to protect yourself. He did so with his glove. It'll be up to King to try to kickstart the heart of the Spartans offense. He was able to do so earlier. His first at-bat was a RBI single, setting the table for Jordan Williams to extend the U-Tampa lead. I believe he had 2 RBIs in the play, actually. It was where Karstetter almost caught up to Woodburn on the way home. Or Russo almost caught up to Woodburn on the way home. 1-0 to Maddox King. Ahead against the lefty. 2-0 now. Tampa team hitting .299 as a unit this year. .410 on base, .458 slugging. Slightly lower slugging percentage for the Spartans. They're definitely more of a small ball team this year, but they definitely have the power to go yard, like we saw earlier with those 2 home runs. 24 home runs as a season, or this season as a team, 24 conceded as a defensive unit. 3-1 now as Paradoa finds his own to avoid a 4-pitch walk. Hit sharply to third. Pena's throw on target. 2 away. And we're back to the top of the order and back to Jordan Williams. What a season Williams is having with the Spartans, leading in most categories on offense. The second best on-base percentage of a qualified Spartan batter, and a top 2 slugging percentage for Spartan qualified batters. Joe Stella, who is an unqualified batter, does beat Williams in all 3 batting categories, but he's only had 16 tries. Swing and a miss, 0-2. 1 more strike, and Paradoa is out of the inning. Definitely love to get 2 strikes here against Williams. Also takes away the bunt possibility that Williams is known to sometimes do, laying one down and using his speed to beat the throw. Good take on the outside part of the plate. Williams cleared the bases with a home run earlier, but this time he'll go down swinging. Paradoa using breaking balls to get out of the inning. A 1-2-3 inning for Paradoa. Wonder if he'll stay on the mound next inning to face Saladino as a righty gets ready in the Valdosta State bullpen. For now, it's the top of the 5th. Tampa leads 7-0, and a chance for the Blazers to try to get back. Brand new inning set to get underway here at U Tampa. Jake leads off for Valdosta State. He'll take strike one. The senior from Jacksonville is hitting .315. He gets on base at a .405 rate, though. No extra base hits, and this one won't be an extra base hit. It will be a leadoff single. Gets past Thurmond, and Saladino and Urso bump into each other, chasing the ground ball. Eljake's had 5 stolen bases on 8 attempts. Wonder if Valdosta State might try to run him into scoring position. Garavito behind home plate could be forced to try to get him out. For now, it's the 9-bat, Beckham to the plate for Valdosta State. These guys not the highest batting averages, but they are scrappy and know how to get on board. First pitch from Thurmond. Inside for ball 1. Runner goes, lined into the outfield. The Tampa infield was moving away on the stolen base attempt. That pulled Saladino out of the way for a base hit. So nice hit and run there from Valdosta State. Runners at the corners, no one out for Moreno. So big chance here for Moreno to get to work. And he'll take in the dirt for ball 1. Good block by Garavito. Wonder if Valdosta State might want to try a double steal or at least send Beckham on the base path. You're probably not going to have Garavito risk the throw to allow a run to score, even with a 7-run Spartan lead. 1-0 to Moreno. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Valdosta State also enters with a .299 team average, .406 on base, .462 slugging. They beat Tampa's slugging percentage by a few points. They are 4 points behind our on-base percentage, though. Tampa's got a full point better ERA. That bounces off the glove of J.D. Urso, and it is 7-1. Valdosta State get on the board. Wouldn't have had a double play there. Both base, actually, might have had a double play there. But for Urso, a little too hot to handle as it went straight towards him and bounced away. Still no outs. We'll see if that's a base hit or an error on JD. It will determine whether Moreno gets the RBI on the play or not. And it'll bring us to the top of the order. Banks ready to go. And the ever-dangerous Pena on deck. Strike 1, and both base runners back quickly as Garavito popped up. They're going to call it an error on Urso, so no RBI for Moreno. Would have been Moreno's 21st, as he prevents the Spartans from getting a 7th shutout of the season. As the count goes, 1-1, a little bit high in the fastball. Looks like they actually did change it to a hit. This could be a double play. Aruso to second. Back to the pitcher who makes the catch. Miscommunication by Russo and Thurmond, but the play ends well as Tampa gets 2. Or no. I think Russo caught it, and he wasn't on the base when he did. So runners at the corners. They do get the out at second. So it's Banks at first, Beckham at third. A double play opportunity would get Thurmond out of the jam. Disappointing for the Spartans to not pull up a double play there. First pitch, ball 1. The 1-0 hit into left. That's going to drop, and it'll score one. Depending how quickly Williams gets there, could score two. Williams slides and picks it up to hold Banks at second. Nice little bit of fielding there by Williams. It's 7-2 as Valdosta State get another run. And that time, an easy base hit call there. Pena gets his first RBI of the day and his second single of the day. Stowe with 2 aboard and 1 away. This could be a nice rally inning here for the Blazers Brewing. This is some of the base hit luck that I mentioned that Thurman struggled a little bit without the season. Let's see if he could get out of this jam here, though. Ball one in the dirt. Garavito, it gets away from him. And he'll throw back to first. They don't get the runner in time. It's a wild pitch that sends Banks 90 feet away from home. A sac fly would make this a 4-run game. Good instincts by Banks to see Garavito misplace the ball, so he decides to test his luck. And he reaches third base safely. Swing and a miss. 1-1. That was also down in the dirt. Swing and a miss. Thurman goes low again and gets strike 2. Good blocks this time by Garavito. Wonder if this is a hit and run situation for Valdosta State. Going to be hit to third. They'll score if there's not a double play. They get 1. They don't get 2 as the throw just bounced away from Russo. Second out picked up at second, but it's an RBI fielder's choice for Stowe. 7-3. The runner from third made it home. Tampa might have tried to make the play at the plate if it was a closer ball game. But thanks to the semi-comfortable Spartans lead, they don't mind the third run scoring, although Thurman might be a little disappointed for his ERA. Strike 1 in the outside corner. Sevillano goes down 0-1. He's had 2 fly ball outs today. 1 into shallow left field, 1 into deep left field. 1-1, missing down low. One and two. Swing and a miss. But they're going to still call it out. I don't think it was a strikeout per se. I'm confused what the umpire was making sort of a deal to point out, but either way, it gets the third out of the inning, and Valdosta State put up 3 runs on 4 hits. Tampa still leads 7-3. And we're back on Tampa Spartans TV. Now on the mound for Valdosta State is the 28 of Trent Lewis. Lewis has had 9 innings from the bullpen, a 3.52 ERA. Saladino leads off for the Spartans. As we continue, let's look ahead for you, Tampa. This weekend, they host Nova Southeastern Friday night and Saturday afternoon for a doubleheader. Then their stand as one game is on next Friday against Rollins. And it's also alumni night as well. I imagine some Spartan alumni could join us in the booth as we celebrate their achievements. And some former Spartan champions will be making a return. One that you might not see back would be Hayden Irby, who was recently traded or recently moved to the Detroit Tigers farm system. I think he might be with their Double-A team now. Here's the 0-1 to Saladino. Tipped foul, 0-2. But cool to see some Spartans succeeding in majors and also succeeding in D1. Alex Caney's been very good out of the Ole Miss bullpen this season, as Ole Miss are, I believe, nationally ranked. Ball 1 missing down low to Saladino. Saladino is 0 for 2 today. It'll be him, Urso, and Valdez due up. Ball 2. Both Lewis and Thurman looking low in the zone in their most recent at-bats. I think they want the players to put the ball on the ground. Makes sense with Williams and Urso having home runs so far today. Saladino sends it foul, still 2-2. The Blazers, meanwhile, will be on the road at Auburn Montgomery this weekend before hosting Lee next weekend at home. They also have Friday night games and Saturday afternoon doubleheaders. Full count for Saladino, Urso on deck. The 3-2 is lined up the middle. Base hit. Takes 3 hops before reaching L-Jack in center field. 1 on and no one out for J.D. Urso. That's Tampa's 5th hit of the game with 7 runs scored. That's the type of stat line we saw from the Spartans a lot last year, as they were prone to getting hits or prone to getting runs, but usually not with as many base hits. Line drive into the gap for Urso. This could score Saladino as it rolls all the way to the wall. And can't pick it up on the first stop is L-Jack. Urso going to get into third with an RBI triple. Just what the doctor ordered after the Spartans surrendered 3 in the top of the 5th. They get 1 to start the bottom of the 5th. And now Mike Valdez will look to take one to the outfield to extend Tampa's lead back to 6. 8-3 Spartans. Valdez has had a quiet day at the plate, 0 for 1. Did draw a walk to start the scoring in the 2nd inning. And he grounded out, also in the 2nd inning. Breaking ball inside for strike 1. Lewis looking for his first out from the bullpen after giving up 2 hits in a row. And he'll miss down low for ball 1. Urso's RBI triple is his 4th triple and 37th RBI of the season.
Wow.
Popped up. This is not the fly ball that would score a Spartan run. 1 away as it's caught by Steinmetz. 1 away for Braden Woodburn. Woodburn entered today with the 2nd most Spartan walks, right behind Saladino. Also the 2nd most strikeouts, right behind Cole Russo. And that'll be strike 1 down the middle from Lewis. Woodburn had a long at-bat and got on board with a walk in the second. Notably in the second inning, he had this walk drawn with a pitch clock violation. 0-2 now, Lewis getting ahead quickly in the count. Tampa has been 4 for 7 with runners on base. 3 for 5 with runners in scoring position. Infield playing in, worried about Urso potentially going home on a ground ball. Strike 3, pain to the outside corner, 2 away. Here comes Garavito to the plate. With him being the final out needed, Valdosta State infield returns to normal depth. Looks like they're playing it a little bit deeper, though. Notice Banks slightly into the outfield.
Yeah, they second and short really retreated. Actually, all infield really retreated.
And there's strike 1 from Lewis. Getting more comfortable after that lead-off single and triple brought home a Spartan run. Ball 1. That went down low. Might have been a cutter on the outside corner. Even count for Garavito. Breaking ball just missing up high. That looked pretty good. Didn't get the call he was hoping for. Here comes the 2-1. Swing and a miss. This time goes down low. Nice break on that one to get into the dirt. Garavito's struck out and has had a double play. Not the greatest start to the ball game, but one swing of the bat could turn things around for him. The 2-2. Floated foul, stays 2-2. A little bit less pressure, worrying about the bullpen stamina today. Both teams will be not active until Friday's weekend series begins. So if they need to go all out with the bullpen game, they could. Valdosta State might have to, as their starter exited in the second inning.
Ooh.
Urso
They got him.
out at third.
Yeah.
He took a little too large of a lead, and that'll bring an inning to the end. Garavito's going to get another chance at the plate as they didn't call him out via strikeout, but instead it's Urso out on a pickoff by Beckham. Good eye behind home plate to see that happen. As we head to the top of the sixth, Tampa
Okay, 3, 2, 1. You're back.
Here we go with a brand new inning of Spartans baseball. Welcome back to the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network. 8-3 Tampa leads. Normally around the games, I'd love to take a look at some of the other Spartan sports that are going on throughout the day, but it's unfortunately a little quiet today. It's only U Tampa baseball active. But tomorrow we've got men's and women's lacrosse at 4 and 8 p.m. Women's takes on Rollins. Men's take on St. Leo. And on Friday we've got baseball, softball, and tennis. So that should be fun. The Sharks are coming to town. Always a fun rivalry between Tampa and Nova. Nova recently won the D2 National Championship in basketball
Did
again.
they? Wow.
Not a huge surprise, though, as they've
No.
won, I think, 60 games in a row at home.
If only that. I thought it was like 82.
Yeah, it's probably more than that. Anyway, I wonder when they'll get promoted to D1 as the count goes 1 and 2.
That's what
So
we
good.
hear, is that they would like that.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, I'd personally like the Sunshine State Conference to join D1 sometime. That'd be cool. I think that for a good chunk of our sports, we'd be above average, I think. At least for baseball, I think we'd be pretty good.
Yep.
And Nova for basketball, I wonder how they'd fare in the actual NCAA tournament.
They'd probably be a middle-of-the-pack team in whatever conference they would join to
Yeah.
start.
And then, sky's the limit from there. That's up the middle. Urso coming forward. Throw on time. A bit of defensive mastery that we're used to from J.D. Urso on that play. One away in the top of the 6th.
Because for a couple years, the Spartans men's basketball played some exhibition games to start the season. They played up at Florida a few years ago, and this was, by the way, congrats to Florida for making the Final Four, but this was before that era, and the Spartans went up there and played them, and there was just such a disparity in talent and size. You know,
yeah.
The Spartans would have a 6'4" or 6'5" forward.
And then they...
Florida would have a 6'7" or 6'9" forward.
Yeah, and nowadays it's almost
And a
like 6'7"
6'3"
guards.
Yeah, or 6'3", 6'4" guard. The Spartans were like 5'10", 6'1".
I think basketball is one of the biggest sports with that size differential, where that's just physically, it's hard to match up against those top teams.
You might be athletically similar, but if you can't, if they've got a reach over you,
Baseball's a little nicer where the height isn't as important.
no.
You can be good if you're like 5'10" at this level against D1
Hey,
talent.
Freddie Patek made the majors. He was 5'4".
And if a batter, you have a really good strike zone when you're 5'4". The 0-2 missing inside. Steinmetz at the plate. He's facing off against Ethan Brown, who enters the game for the Spartans. Brown has had 18 strikeouts and 19 walks over 12 innings. And 2 home runs, so he's actually had quite a few of the 3 true outcomes. This one is a strikeout. That's the outcome you want to have if you have a 3 true outcome on the mound. And he gets 2 quick outs to start the inning.
Steinmetz did not appear to be accepting the fact he had just been called out.
And you know what they say. You can't argue with City Hall. And 2 away now for Eljek. Singled back in the 5th. That started a good inning of offense from Valdosta State. He's going to go for a bunt. Russo
That'd be tough.
picks it up, can't make the tag. Eljek slides in safely. That stayed in the air a long time for a bunt, but falls just in front of Russo. And even though he tries to hit Eljek, he gets down onto the turf and reaches safely. Good hustle by the center fielder to set the table for Beckham. So Eljek now on the base path. See what he can do at first. Brown's going to throw a quick pickoff, and it bounces away from Russo. Eljek in scoring position.
Not many get by Russo.
He's been very good defensively at first base. Last couple of years, Tampa's had some good defenders over at first. Notably, Stephen Klein 2 seasons ago. Actually, it was 1 season ago.
Yeah,
He was
last
here at the
year.
national championship team. He won the Rawlings Gold Glove in 2023 for D1 defense. I'm not sure if he won the Gold Glove that last year with the Spartans, but showcased the good glove there, and Russo was doing the same.
And he was like 5'10".
Yes. Very unassuming height. It's also cool as Klein actually had a matchup against Paul Skeens last year, or 2 years ago. I don't think Klein had a hit in that game, but let's face it, back in 2023, not many people had hits against Paul Skeens.
No.
And they don't really, to this day,
Still not.
in MLB either. Here comes the 1-1 from Brown. Down low, 2-1. Getting that one base runner might have just been what the Blazers needed to try to keep this momentum going. They've recorded 11 hits. They've only scored 3 runs. And that is going to be ball 3, missing down inside. On deck after Beckham is Moreno. We are not headed to the top of the order just yet. We've got a full count for the righty. Tampa's brought in the lefty from the bullpen, where Valdosta State only has one left-hander in the lineup, and there's a long way to go to Seviano. Tampa's bullpen has a ton of lefties, though, and that makes them a pretty useful unit, because don't always see too many left-handers, so it's good for Tampa to try to switch things up for their opponents. The payoff pitch swung on and missed,
Nice.
And a Brown strikeout gets him out of the inning. He did allow the base runner to get to second on a missed pickoff throw. He makes up for it with his second strikeout in one shutdown inning on the mound. Headed to the bottom of the 6th, Spartans. A new player is on the mound for Valdosta State. It's Nick Del Negro ready to go. The 5'10 junior out of Newport Richey, Florida.
He's got a 3.37 ERA, no decisions so far this year. This is his 3rd appearance, all in relief. And he has 2 2/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 3 runs, 1 earned, walked nobody, struck out nobody.
With Russo on deck, makes sense for Valdosta State to want to roll back to the lefty. Tampa scored 1 in the bottom of the 5th. Their 8th run of the ball game. Here comes Joe Stella to the plate for the Spartans. Stella's had a pretty good year. He is, well, replacing Russo. So I wonder... So they must have actually called Garavito out on the play, I think, because it should be Garavito to start the inning with Urso getting picked off at 3rd. But
Yeah, but there wouldn't.
Carsetter wouldn't be on deck
But I thought Tampa had 2 outs when
when he
got
was
picked
out.
off.
Yeah, it wasn't a double play to end the inning. There was already 2 on the
So
board.
maybe the strikeout and the
And they just
3rd
threw.
didn't matter,
Yeah,
but they didn't know.
might have been the case. It did look like it could have been a strike on the pitch that actually did have JD picked off on.
Let me see what the stats show.
The live stats, I think, show that it was picked off at 3rd as the count goes.
I think they're discussing that right now, that maybe the strikeout occurred before the play at 3rd, because I'd swear there were 2 outs.
I think if you're the pitcher, you might rather the strikeout. Looks a little bit nicer on your stat numbers. As the count goes, I think it'll be 1-1, Stella. 1-2 as he swings and misses at a changeup away.
Pitchers on
Stella's-
both sides today have had really nice changeups.
And the previous lefty they had out there had a really good one, too. Including one that started up a little bit higher as well. That was Paradilla previously. And now this one misses away. Stella has been good this season, 375 average, 545 on base, 625 slugging percentage, with a home run and a double as part of his 6 hits he's had this year. Not too many chances to play, but he's made the most of it when he has.
Oh.
Almost gets hit, and that'll be a walk. Scoreboard was way behind in the count there. Apparently it was a full count.
Yeah, they had 3-2.
Yeah, it was like 1-2 the previous pitch, but then they caught up again, and then now it's 3-2. And now it's 0-0 for Kevin Karstetter. I imagine Irigoyen will enter the game next inning. Doesn't look like Tampa's making any other pinch hit changes just yet. And with a 5-run game, makes sense for them not to. Ball 1, missing outside.
No, it's still very much in the balance.
Now, I also imagine, actually, Garavito stays in the game with the catcher, might put Stella at first base now.
Mm-hmm.
Or they bring in someone new to play first base. Karstetter will definitely be staying at third as the count goes 2-0. Saladino is a left-handed batter that eventually will take on Del Negro on the mound. We were talking about physicality and heights. He's only 5'10".
Okay.
But you don't need height as a pitcher. You just need good velocity, good command, and good break. The command part seems to be lacking in this at-bat, 3-0. And will that set up 2 for Maddox King? Three and 1. The Pasco Hernando product finds the zone.
I think he was taking all the way.
Yeah, no reason to swing in a 3-0. The only time you do that is when you're up by like 10 runs and you want to try to stat pad a little bit. Stella stays put, as that's ball 4.
Wow, back to back.
Looks like King is going to get ready to go. We'll also see Williams staying in the game, as we got a conference on the mound.
I think this is going to be a change.
Would make sense.
Because that's the coach. That's Weisberg.
He's only faced 2 batters. Don't know if they have the 3-batter minimum in D2. Because I know they got rid of the ability to use loogies in the majors thanks to having 3 forced opponents. And that was actually just a check-in, but I imagine if this pitcher struggles a little bit more, they might pull the plug. Like I mentioned, they don't have to be cautious about bullpen usage. They've got a 3-day period of rest. They could even take one of the weekend starters, plug him in for an inning to get out of a jam. Not that they'd want to, but if they had to, they could. Valdosta State is a pretty deep bullpen. This season, they've had over 15 players take the mound. Another righty here for the Spartans. Maddox King gets the bunt down, and foul. Could have been a base hit if it stayed fair. Would have been a close play with Beckham getting to it. It's 0-1. The bunt goes up and drops. Throw to first on target. Almost hit Maddox King on the base path. The glove was pretty much right behind Maddox. Steinmetz makes the catch. 1 away, 2 in scoring position for Williams.
King was lucky. He almost hit it a little bit too high up in the air or too far out. Came very dangerously close to catching that on the fly.
Now what I wonder is if Williams tries to repeat what King did to bring home a run. He's got the speed to make a bunt work.
Oh, yeah.
He's also got good power. He swings away for strike one of the breaking ball.
He's already homered today.
Had a handful of those this season. One more would actually make a handful.
This is true.
Urso's already on his second hand. He's got 6 this year, leading the way for the Spartans. That 6th also came earlier today. Tipped foul, 2 strikes now to Williams. Corner's pretty far in. Steinmetz on the grass. As that misses outside. Ball 1. I think that was the changeup once again. Don't think it was a sinker or two-seamer. That would be a nice combo from that sidearm slot for the lefty on the mound for Valdosta State. Lined up the middle.
Oh.
Caught. And that will end the inning. He makes the tag. And
He had to tag him at third, didn't he? I don't think he did.
so wait, it took a bounce.
Yeah. Yes.
I thought it was caught.
No.
So he does get the Stella out on the base path. Carstetter is called safe at third. Williams makes it to first. And it's the first time Williams has made it to first today with 2 away now in the inning. And I think every Spartan fan knows what to be on the watch for.
I say he goes first pitch. Not only because that's a smart move, because it's still 8-3. You get him on second base, you've got 2 runners in scoring position.
The only time that would go sour for the Spartans if he gets caught out to end the inning with 2 away.
But they're letting him take a huge lead, and there he goes.
And obviously,
And not even.
he's just going to keep the runner at third and check that throw. For Williams, it's stolen base number 49 of 2025.
They didn't hold him on, and they didn't cover the base.
And with that, Williams is officially tied with Eric Sims for the second most in Spartan history. Sims had 49 in 2000. Now in this situation, Williams would want to steal third. Just so happens, however, that Carstetter's there. As the count goes 2-0 with 2 away, or 1-1 with 2 away. The center field scoreboard still hasn't updated, unfortunately. Runners now at second and third.
Oh, there's 2 away. Are there 2 outs now? Come on, Mike.
Swing and a miss by Saladino. Now it's a 1-2 count. Tampa's only left 1 base runner on the base path today. They're in danger of stranding 2 here if Saladino can't convert against the lefty. Getting the out here would allow Valdosta State to go back to a righty in the bullpen afterwards. Let's see if they'll get it. Tipped foul. Saladino stays alive. I'm surprised that previous play from Williams wasn't caught on the mound. It just took a hard hop.
It hit in front of the plate and went up.
Tipped foul again. The infield back to normal depth. No crazy shift for Saladino, although Banks is a bit to the right. Ball 2. Saladino's had 3 tries. Ground out, strikeout, single. He's 1 for 3.
He's had some long at-bats, though. He's really making him work to get him out.
Hit foul, stays 2-2.
Just like this.
Good grab at the bullpen, though, for Valdosta State. That was picked up by Preston James. Doesn't look like he's actively warming up. It's a different right-hander getting some tossing in. That would be for the bottom of the 7th. But for now, the 2-2. Deep fly ball by Saladino. How deep is it going to be? It's going to the track and to the wall. No ground rule double, so Saladino is going to make it to third. 10-3 Spartan lead on a bases clearing triple.
awfully close to going out.
Very close. It curved his
Now they're
right center
they're
field.
signaling something out there.
They're trying to call that it was a ground rule double. The outfielders were saying that it bounced over the wall. From our view, though, it didn't look like it did.
I mean, they're obviously right there, so I'm trying to figure out what the... So, Tom, what would they be saying? It hit the green below the yellow bar and then went up off the net and came back?
When it hits the netting, it's ground rule double.
But it must have hit the wall first to hit the net, or otherwise it was out of the park.
I think it hit on the ground and bounced back.
Oh, off the
Yeah,
ground?
because it did hit
Okay.
to the ground in the gap. Then went up to the wall, but I don't think it hit the net. Doesn't change anything. Both runs would score on the ground rule double.
You're right.
They were on second
Whether
and third.
they move
It would just
Saladino
move
back.
Saladino back, and it looks like the umpire's going to uphold the ruling that it's a triple. And now that Urso's up to the plate, and no lefty in sight for a mile in the Spartans' order, looks like Del Negro will be done for the day. Just makes sense. They want to avoid a bad platoon matchup against someone as dangerous as JD. Tampa's back up by 7 after conceding 3 in the top of the 5th. They've now scored 3 over the next 2 innings. And as this pitching change is made, we'll take a quick breather here on the Sunshine State Conference. And we're ready to go with Ferrara taking the mound.
I can give you numbers on him if you'd like. A 9.53 ERA. He's 0-1 on the year. This is his 8th appearance. 5 2/3 innings pitched, 5 hits, 7 runs, 6 hits, walked 10, struck out 6. So he needs to lower a few of those numbers.
There's a good chance to do so. His last name, Ferrara, is pronounced a little bit like Ferrari,
Ferraro.
which means it's no surprise that he actually comes from Tallahassee. You thought I was going to say Italy, weren't
Yes, now explain that.
you? Yeah. That was a little bit of an April Fool's joke, if you will. The right-hander is a senior, previously at Northwestern Florida State College. You know, we do have some experience with Italy. Tampa played
Yeah,
the Italian
October.
national team back in October.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure now with Francisco Cervelli at the helm, that is a matchup that will be continuing over the next few years and so. I think we will have continued relationships with that team, which is cool. I know what they've been doing recently with us is preparing their Olympics 2028 roster. The Olympics being held in Los Angeles. Baseball is going to make a return to the Olympics. It's a shame that it wasn't there in Paris this last summer, but the downside was France doesn't really have a lot of great baseball fields. So that's all right, though. There was enough basketball action, I think, to satisfy fans. Steph Curry becoming the devil in real time. That's part of that French commentary. Such a fun highlight.
What's that? The clock wasn't working. Oh.
So the pitch clock gets reset. Ferrara and Urso ready to go. Duel of the 11s. Urso 2 for 3 today. He's got a long ball. He's got a triple. He's going to take ball 1. That gets behind Beckham. But the good news for Beckham is that it went towards the third baseline, so there was no chance Saladino could make it home. I'm sure Tampa would not have minded taking their 11th run of the game.
Yep.
which would make it 11 runs and 7 hits compared to 3 runs on 11 hits.
It's amazing. They have a 10-3 lead, and they've been out hit by 4.
And they still lead by a comfortable margin. They only have had 1 error to benefit them. I'll double check how many of the Spartan runs are actually going to be unearned for the Valdosta pitching staff. And believe it or not, none of them are unearned. That's bad news for Jackson, who has now 6 extra runs for his ERA. Entered day with 7 earned runs in total.
And he only went 2 innings, or didn't even finish the second.
And 1 in the third. As the count goes 2-1. Urso ahead in the count. That gets away from Beckham. And good thing for Beckham is it didn't get stuck in his catcher's gear. Because one thing I actually discovered this weekend from NPB's opening day was on a wild pitch, the ball got stuck in a catcher's gear, and that allowed the team to take the lead with a runner at third because the ball was out of play. Because it got stuck in his gear, they said it was out of play, so the runner from third advanced. That turned a 4-4 scoreline to 5-4. And that's going to be a walk for JD Urso. Doesn't need a swing, gets on base for free. Here comes Mike Valdez.
Ferraro wanted to know why that was a ball. He said, was it low?
Yeah, I think it
And
was.
He said yes.
Two away, one would get Ferrara out of the inning. There goes Urso for strike 1. And no contested throw from Beckham. So Urso picks up an extra stolen base. Taking a look at the Spartans on the base paths today. That is UTampa's second steal, making it 94 for 2025. That's going to miss again, 2-1. The most Tampa steals in a season was 142 all the way back in 1992.
There's plenty of time if you keep this pace up.
I think Tampa can definitely get into the leaderboards. Getting into the top 5, they would need 118 stolen bases. As Valdez heads that high, but not super deep, into shallow left field. The shortstop makes the catch as the sun's shadows start to creep into the outfield. And that'll do it for 6 full at UTampa. The Spartans score 2 to regain their 7-run lead. And we're so an interesting bullpen appearance for me, Jack. Had 3 runs surrendered, 3 runs scored. It'll be Brown staying in the game as you resume in the game, too.
So that's a wash for your appearance.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Don't know how that does to the ERA, but
Yeah.
see, maybe if you have 6 innings of shutout baseball.
So Ethan Brown still on the bump for Tampa. And Moreno, the leadoff hitter, will lead off. He's got a couple hits already today. Drove in a run his last time up. First pitch. Just a little bit outside. Ball 1. The lefty Brown winds, fires. Just a little bit outside. 2-0. Tampa, 10 runs, 7 hits, an error. Valdosta State, the Blazers, 3 runs, 11 hits, 1 error. Ground ball. Rolls nicely out to Urso. Cross to Joe Stella, now playing at first base. Makes the play, 1 up, 1 down. Banks now steps in. Brown fires. Down the middle. Doesn't get the call, though. A little bit high. 1-1 with 1 out. That one is hit out into center field. Drifting over is King, and he makes the catch. Kind of a sun field right now. I think he got lucky that he was heading to his right. Helped him not battle the sun too much. It's going to get worse as the season goes on and the sun heads more north as we head into spring and summer. And it'll get nasty at some of these 6 o'clock games right around 7 o'clock when the sun will be setting right behind the grandstand. Pena at the plate now. He's got a couple hits. Top of the 7th, Tampa on top, 10-3. That one is ripped down the left field line, but foul. One-two pitch with 2 out. Swing and a miss. That'll end the inning. A quick one for Ethan Brown. So they go down 1-2-3. We've played 6.5. Tampa still on top, 10-3 right here on Tampa Spartans. Bottom of the 7th we go. Everybody with a little stretch Between the top and the bottom of the 7th inning, Tampa on top 10-3. See if they can stretch the lead as they will bring a pinch hitter to the plate. It is number 26, Jake Griffith. Lefty, waiting there, comes in with a 150 batting average. Has 3 hits and 20 at-bats this year, limited playing time at this point. Ball outside. Spartans are home this weekend. Friday, single game at 6. And then a doubleheader on Saturday. They'll be playing Nova Southeastern. That's an opponent that both Valdosta and Tampa will have in common after this weekend, as Valdosta opened up the season with Nova Southeastern. I take that back. It wasn't opening up the season. It was early March, and it sounded like football games broke out. 17-8 and 18-10, and Valdosta State won both of them. Now, Nova Southeastern right now is sitting 4th place in the conference at 7-5. Tampa on top, 10-2. Florida Southern close behind at 9-3. And Rollins has a series ahead of everybody. They're 11-4 on the year. There are already 3 teams in the conference who have 20 regular season wins. Tampa 25-6, Florida Southern 24-7, and Rollins is 21-9. Griffith waits. A little bit low, takes the walk. A lot of walks today given up by Valdosta. Has walk number 7 on the day. Brings Garavito to the plate. Garavito so far today, a strikeout, a hit into a double play, and struck out looking last time. So he's looking to get something going here in the 7th. Runner goes, swing and a miss, throw down to second. One hop, gets away, and safely into second base is Griffith. You maybe don't run in the 8th with an 11-3 lead, but I still think you do in the 7th. You just never know. Way inside. Beckham knocked it down, kept the runner from moving. Ooh, that hit him in the helmet. Garavito shaking it off and walking down. That did plunk him in the helmet.
It's from stealing when you're up 7.
So runners now at first and second. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th, and at the plate is Joe Stella. Looks at a curveball for a strike. These two teams have a long history playing each other. The first game was back on February 26th, 1986. The most recent game was April 4th, 2023, so just about 2 years ago. They played 58 total games. Tampa has 34 wins. They've lost 24. And they've lost the last 2 against Valdosta State. Matter of fact, in the last 10, they're 3-7. They meet often in NCAA regional play. Stella hits that one foul. but they're always good opponents for each other. Non-conference, but it's a good regional matchup. Looks good on the schedule. That one's hit. Falls in for a base hit. Joe Urso sending the runner home. Griffith obliges, and the Spartans lead 11-3. And it's cruising into second with a double. Have a visit to the mound coming up, though. There are 2 players warming up, and 1 is coming in. So we're going to have another pitching change. We'll get you all the updated info. Once he gets warmed up, we'll take a break and be right back. Tampa on top, 11-3 over Valdosta State, bottom of the 7th on Tampa.
Yeah, pitches in a row and single game. All right, you're back.
Pitching change, it's going to be Hayden Sotilli coming in for the Blazers. Brings in an 8.31 ERA. This is his 8th appearance of the year. No decisions yet. 8 2/3 innings pitched, 10 hits, 8 runs, all earned. Walked 3, struck out 11. Has given up a couple home runs. And the first batter he will face is Kevin Karstetter.
He's got a good strikeout to walk ratio, which ironically is the same as the current scoreline, 11-3. But it's definitely the hits that have gotten the better of him this season. 10 hits and 8 runs surrendered. Not the ideal start to 2025.
That is hit deep, going back to the wall, and add something else to the hits and runs scored as Karstetter just launched a 3-run homer. Karstetter, home run. Find it here.
Number 2.
Home run number 2 on the year. That was launched. The left fielder, Seviana, took like 2 steps and then just said, I'll just wait for it to come back into the ballpark off the fence, off the screen. Tampa now 14-3 lead.
Yeah, that left the bat in a hurry. I'd love to see the exit velo on something like that because I imagine it was probably 100. Now we've got Drake Harmon off the bench.
Another pinch hitter for Tampa. Harmon is a junior from Lithia, Florida, by way of Santa Fe College.
Tampa and Santa Fe have had a few players join from there. Tobin Moran, notably, as well as Santiago Garavito, I believe, in the past. It's a good pipeline, honestly, for the Spartans. Harmon's still looking for his second base hit as a Spartan.
Swing and a miss. So the Spartans have sent 3 over the fence today. I would think it has to be their most productive power day this year.
Certainly one of them. They entered with 22 home runs in the season.
Swing and a miss there. First out of the inning, and we will move our way down to Ashby. He's going to get a pinch hit. Lenny Ashby, senior from Aruba.
73.
Kind of disappointing for Williams' stolen bases today to only end at 1, but he'll continue the record chase this weekend on Friday. And for now, the lefty gets a chance to take on the righty. Actually, he's been a little cold at the plate recently, but not doing too bad this year. .394 on base percentage. Definitely something to be excited about. He's also been hit by 5 pitches this season. Tampa's a team been plunked 50 times.
Wow. That's almost, that's bordering to a game.
They've conceded 106 walks as a team entering today, and they've had half of those in hit by pitches at the plate. 106 to 50. That's a pretty crazy total.
Tapped, stays fair. Somebody's got to cover first. He does. The pitcher gets over there. And so Tilley takes the throw for the out. 2 down now.
21.
And another pinch hitter coming up. Jake Turr.
Turr is the team leader for average this season. The freshman out of Wharton High School, hitting .429 on 7 tries.
Okay. That makes him 3 for 7. So Tilley with the pitch. Looks good. Call strike. Tampa put up 7 in the second inning to take control of this game. Then added 1 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, and now 4 here in the 7th. Swing and a miss. Goes upstairs for that one.
In terms of a numerical sequence, by that means you're potentially expecting an 8-run 8th inning. It's doubled each time.
Popped up. Catcher calling for it. Beckham lost it. No, now he should have just let it see if it went foul. But he picked it up. That very well could have spun foul. Probably not going to be anything major, but...
I think it bounced into him is the problem.
So do you think it hit him on the bounce?
Potentially. Because it bounced up, and then he sort of was there. Not sure if he had time to get out of the way.
Okay.
But that's one of the more awkward hits you'll see.
Yeah, and I think he just lost it somehow. Another pinch hitter coming up for Tampa is number 25, and that is A.J. Graham. And he hits one down third, but foul. Graham is a freshman from Tampa, Gaither High School. Pitcher backs off the mound for a second. Graham at 6'3", 190, tall, lanky. Now, I think it's another pitch clock situation as Jose Jimenez and the base umpire, a little discussion. I think they reset it or hit some switch.
And by the way, cool thing for A.J. Graham, he was drafted by the Pittsburgh Pirates back in the 2021 amateur draft.
Wow.
So similar to Anthony Nunez, kind of starts his Spartan career after being in an MLB organization.
So he must have spent some time in the minors somewhere?
I believe so. Would have been most likely with the Pirates.
Because 2021, that's 4 years ago, and he's a freshman.
Yeah, he played in 2021 in the FCL, and in 22, and in 23.
Okay.
Only had a handful of appearances there, and didn't feature in the FCL in 2024. But now he's 22 years old and ready to start a collegiate career.
Yeah. That one is hit out into right field, giving chase down the line is Hood, and it goes foul.
A few of the Valdosta State bullpen players had to jump out of the way.
You were talking about Anthony Nunez getting some pro time before coming to college. My daughter and I went and saw him when his team played the Clearwater Threshers. Ground ball. This could be tough, and he's going to beat it out. We're going to have runners at first and second. Yeah, Anthony's team came in to play the Clearwater Threshers, got to pitch. And we got to go down on the field and talk to him after the game. And while we're down there, we find Joe Urso, his wife Julie, and about 5 players. We're also there to see him.
And Nunez remains with the Mets, now in Brooklyn with the Cyclones, the high A affiliate.
Brooklyn as in New York?
Yes, I believe so.
Wow.
I don't know if it would be Brooklyn, Kentucky, or Brooklyn, California.
Yeah.
I'd have to Google if there actually are other cities, because I was just joking. I don't think there is one in Kentucky.
Are you trying to get me with April Fool's Day things all
A couple
day today?
times.
Okay.
Taking a look at it, I believe there is one in Virginia, and actually there is one in California.
Okay. But which Brooklyn is he playing in?
It's most likely New York, I'd assume.
Brooklyn, New York. Seems like an odd place for a minor league team.
Yeah. I wonder where they'd play is the question.
Ebbets Field.
Essentially.
1-1 pitch with 2 out and 2 on. Down the middle, it's 1-2 now.
I actually got it. It's Maimonides Park. That's part of the New York Penn League.
Really? That sounds pretty neat. 1-2 pitch. Check swing. They say he went around, and strike 3 is the call. So the Spartans pick up 4, add on to their lead. Now lead by 11. We'll go to the 8th, 14-3, Tampa on top, right here on TampaSpartans.tv. Is the only change time at short?
Yeah, there was some others.
There were?
Tur stayed in at second.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, are you going to go see Grandma and Grandpa?
We go to the top of the 8th inning. 14-3, Tampa on top. Tampa slowly working its way up to having as many hits as runs. 14 runs, 10 hits. Valdosta State, the Blazers, are at 3 runs, 11 hits. Couple position changes for the Spartans is Logan Wash coming in to pitch. Graham will be in at shortstop. Harmon is going to be in left field. And Ashby will be in right field. And Valdez replaces Maddox King in center field. First pitch from Wash is a ball. Wash comes in with a 3.68 ERA. No decisions on the year. 7 1/3 innings pitched. One hit, 5 runs, 3 of them earned. Walked 13, struck out 13. Here's a ground ball. Out to Stella for the out.
Now, Wash has been very good at not allowing base runners via hits. The 13 walks isn't ideal, but he does match that with 13 strikeouts. And it's always good when you can hold opponents to an 0.45 batting average.
Mm-hmm.
Means you're doing something right.
Right. Brings Civiano to the plate. First pitch is a strike. Wash, the lefty, fires. Just outside.
Now, Wash was active in the Sun Belt last year with University of South Alabama, transferring there in 2023.
Call strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One-two pitch with 1 out. Swing and a miss. Drop third strike. Got to throw to first. They go to Stella, 2 down. We'll bring Hood to the plate.
Pinch hitter.
And it does look like, yes, a pinch hitter coming in. It's going to be number 3, Andres Natera. He is a junior out of Weston, Florida. Went to St. John's River College.
He's got a bit of a power bat, 474 slugging, and a 500 on-base percentage. Featured in 15 games of 12 starts, and has a pretty good average for that limited game appearances.
And the pitch from Wash. That one's hit foul down toward the Blazers bullpen. One ball, 2 strikes now. So they must like what Natera does when he gets in games. If he's only appeared in about half the games, but he starts about 80% of those games. Fouled back.
Yeah, a bit of a rarity for him to not be starting.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure. I think it might have been him and LJ kind of switching back and forth for starts, or maybe at various places throughout the lineups, maybe with Steinmetz as well. Now, for their roster, he is listed as an infielder.
Okay.
So he probably does shuffle around to the hot corner and to some of the other starting positions.
Yeah. One ball, 2 strikes with 2 outs. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 will end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. We've played 7.5. Tampa still on top, 14-3. We'll be back on TampaSpartans.tv.
3, 2, 1.
So who is pitching now? 32.
We're back.
We head to the bottom of the 8th. Tampa will send up Griffith, Garavito, Stella. Another pitching change for Valdosta State. As the field now no longer in sunlight. Stadium lights are on, having little or no effect yet.
Wonder if their closer, Ryan Brown, will like being under the lights. He gets a rep here for Valdosta State in a very low leverage outing, 14-3 Spartan lead. He's been very good this year. 1.69 ERA, 11 appearances, 3 saves, and also struck out 14 in that span, giving up just 2 walks.
Good ratio there.
Did give up 1 home run though.
Coming to the plate for Tampa is Jake Griffith. Walked his first time up. So Brown, the lefty, to the lefty, Griffith. A little bit low, ball 1. Spartans looking to improve their record to 26-6 on the year and 17-1 at home. They had an extended road trip during spring break. They went out to California and played 4 games. Ground ball foul. One of the neat things about playing down here in Florida is you can get a lot of home games early because everybody wants to come down here and play you.
Yeah, it certainly is. And that's why so many teams love to visit Tampa and sometimes love to come back to Tampa, too.
Yeah.
Not only do they want to play best of the best, but who doesn't want a trip to Tampa this time of year?
I know. And you can make a little circuit, maybe swing up to St. Leo, maybe over to Florida Southern, Rollins, something like that. Eckerd.
Fans don't mind. They get a vacation out of it usually.
Yep. You get some pretty good baseball. The stories are funny when you ask teams how many times have you practiced outside, and they say it this morning.
3, yep. They say like 3 or 2. And then Tampa, oh, we've been doing it for months.
Ball outside, 2-2. Out of the stretch, Brown sets. Ball outside, we're full, 3-2. And the payoff pitch. Ground ball heading out toward second base. Banks underhands it over. 1 up, 1 down.
Pitch hitter, 28.
Spartans now with another pinch hitter as Joe keeps going to the bench. And that is Matthew Fogel coming to the plate for Tampa. At a .250 average on the year. That means 1 hit in 4 plate appearances.
I believe there was some celebration when Fogel had his first Spartan hit of his career earlier this season.
He's a 6'4 junior from Orlando. .1-0 pitch. Way ahead of that one, 1-1. One on the way. Called strike, caught the corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes now.
Good frame there by Russell, the new man behind home plate. Do wonder how close it was to being a strike before his movement.
Mm-hmm. That one didn't have to frame it. Strike 3 call. And that should bring up Joe Stella. Now their trip to the mound, though, before that will happen. Stella came in as a pinch hitter, now getting his third at bat of the game. Walked and doubled.
It looks like they're going to bring on a righty from the bullpen. I kind of get the idea. You're facing a righty of the righty, but it is a 14-3 game, and Brown is your closer.
Yeah, just don't want to exhaust the arm.
Makes sense. You got to have him healthy for a season because every game is going to be huge for the Blazers for regional play down the stretch.
And oftentimes in a game like this, non-conference, you just want to get some guys some playing time and see how they do.
Exactly.
Now they make our day longer because we have to sit through another pitching change. But no, cry me a river, huh?
Yeah. We don't decide the lineups, the coaches do.
Yep.
From the bullpen, we've got J.J. Finn entering. 6 2/3 innings. Has the fourth most hits conceded out of the bullpen, and pitching staff as a whole for Valdosta State. A .553 average against. Just means he's been extremely unlucky this season.
He is a junior from Ocala, Florida. Went to Daytona State College.
Shout out Daytona State College.
That's
in the NCAA.
Yeah.
I cover games there alongside Drew Felios. This upcoming weekend, we've got a baseball game there. So I get to check out maybe some potential future D2 players and beyond. NJCAA does a great job of developing talent throughout a lot of the Florida sports. See a lot of players from areas like Pasco Hernando or Daytona State playing in the Sunshine State Conference or the Gulf South Conference.
Yep.
It's a good pathway to go from that level of JUCO to this level of JUCO, and then sometimes even beyond. For instance, Santa Fe, that's also part of that conference.
So Joe Stella will stride to the plate. J.J. Finn on the mound. Righty to righty. Down the middle. First pitch. Base hit for Stella. He's got a 2-for-3 day going. Actually a 2-for-2 day because he walked his first time up.
Stella's the team leader in batting average for all players, including the non-qualified ones, and he's keeping that streak up today for sure. I think he's back up to 500 or even over. He's now 5 for 9.
Carstetter at the plate. This will be his 5th plate appearance. Had a home run his last time up. Swing and a miss there. Actually fouled it off. I think that hurt his foot because he's took some time to just walk around, and the umpire gave him that luxury. 1 ball, 1 strike now with 2 out. Man on first. Hit out into right field, but foul. Shortstop playing pretty far to the right side. Pretty big gap up the middle. Good stop by Russell. Bottom of the 8th, so last chance coming up for Valdosta State after this. Ground ball, and he just goes right up the middle. They gave it to him, so he took it. Runners at first and second now with 2 outs. And Harmon coming to the plate. Drake Harmon, a junior from Lithia, Florida. One of the aforementioned colleges you brought up, Santa Fe College. He struck out his first time up back in the 7th. Swings and misses at that one. A long look. Pitch clock down to 5, 4, 3. Got it off in time. Pitch is low anyway.
It's pretty cool you get kind of that repeat of the NJCAA matchup here on the mound and at the plate, Daytona State and Santa Fe. Trying to find if they had played against each other back in 2022 or 2023. But I did see Tobin Moran and Drake Harmon sharing the field in one of the games they had against Daytona State. No sign of Finn, unfortunately.
That ball gets away. Everybody will move up a base, so runners go to second and third. 2 outs and a 2-2 count. So there's a chance for Harmon. It'll actually go to a 3-2 count. Chance for Harmon to collect a couple RBI here. And the pitch. Missing outside. The bases will be full for Lenny Ashby. Ashby grounded out. Grounded to first. Tossed to the pitcher for the out. His only at bat. And the pitch. Curveball. Call strike. 0-1. Fouled off. In the hole 0-2. And the 0-2 pitch. Fly ball down left field line, but foul. Ashby will step back in. Finn leans in, gets his sign. And the 2-2 with 2 out, bases full. And that's a hit right into center field, going back, and making the catch just before the warning track to end the inning. Good catch by Jack, and we'll head to the 9th. Last chance coming up for Valdosta State. 14-3, Tampa on top. Top of the ninth inning we go. 14-3. Spartans on top. Jack and Taylor with the broadcast today. Spartans will play this weekend. Nova Southeastern will make the trip up here. Single game Friday, doubleheader Saturday.
He's a pinch hitter, too.
Speaking of Daytona State, I'll be there on Friday, but I know we'll both be here on Saturday.
Okay. Let's make it a deal. Pinch hitter coming up to the plate is number 35. That is Peyton Atkinson.
Looks like he might be making his first appearance of the year at the plate for Daytona State.
Okay.
And the reason is because he is listed as a left-handed pitcher.
No, I take that back. 35, they made a
Wait.
It is Ray
Ortiz. Yes.
He
Whoops.
told us before the game Ortiz was going to wear 35.
Yep, and he told us again when he entered the game in right field.
We just failed to listen.
Yes. Ortiz for the season has actually been a qualified bat. 26 games played and 8 starts. Kind of surprised that he's actually listed as a qualified player over Kanagita, who is the number 12 in the team, who's had more at-bats and more starts.
That's going out to left field. Harmon waiting. Drifts a little bit, makes the catch. 1 up, 1 down, 2 to go. Looking to send the fans home happy.
Tampa was inspired by Valdosta State. They brought in Alfonso to close the door.
This is another pinch hitter. It's number 16, Henry Alfonso.
Well, that's poetic. Alfonso on Alfonso.
Is it? Okay. That's poetry.
I got to check if they're related real quick.
Okay.
Could be. They might not. Alfonso is a somewhat common last name, and while they both are from South Florida, Henry's from Miami. Michael is from Key West. And it's Raiku and Jennifer that are the siblings of Michael, so unfortunately, this isn't a battle of brothers.
2-1 pitch. Nice curveball, 2-2. Alfonso against Alfonso.
I'm not sure if I actually mentioned this throughout the year. Alfonso was a draft pick as well, picked by the Texas Rangers.
Which one?
2021.
No, which Alfonso?
Michael, this one.
Fly ball out to center field. Valdez cruised over, made the catch. We're down to the last out. And coming to the plate is number 10, Carson Russell. Spartans up by 11. 2 outs, top of the ninth. Ground ball up the middle, takes a nice hop. Toss over from Graham to Stella. Ball game. Spartans win it. 14-3 is the final. Tampa 14 runs, 12 hits, an error. Valdosta State 3 runs, 11 hits, and 1 error. Tampa now 26-6 on the year. They are 17-1 at home now, and they will get ready to play on Friday night when Nova Southeastern comes to town. Valdosta State 20-15 on the year, and they are now 7-8, I should say, away from home. But a nice trip down here. They've got about a 3.5-hour bus ride to get home, and they say that's actually closer than most of the schools in their conference, so they kind of enjoy the trip down here. But anyway, that'll do it. We'll be back Friday, 6 o'clock game coming up. So for Taylor Stolworthy, this is Jack Ike saying thanks for joining us. You've been watching on TampaSpartans.com.